Hey everybody, today we are going to read Home by Hina Khan. We're only going to read half of the story and then you'll get another video later on to do the other half. But here is Hina Khan meeting with a fan. So somebody who really loves her book, smiling, so happy to meet the author of Amina's Voice. If you want to check out Hina Khan's website, you could totally do that here by clicking on the link. You'll notice throughout the whole video that there are links everywhere. To help you understand a word or to get a sense of what something looks like. About the author, Hina Khan grew up with her nose in a book. The stories she connected with as a child left a huge impression on her, and she still thinks of the characters, feelings, and the random tidbits that she absorbed years ago. That's why she loves writing for kids, in the hopes that they'll read something she wrote more than once and let it become part of who they are. Hina enjoys writing for all ages and exploring her Pakistani American culture, along with space, spies, and other topics. Amina's Voice, her recent middle grade novel, was named a Best Book of the Year by the Washington Post, NPR, Kirkus Reviews, and others. She also wrote the Zayed Salim Chasing the Dream series, Power Forward, On Point, and Bounce Back, and several picture books, including Golden Domes and Silver Lanterns, Night of the Moon, It's Ramadan, Curious George, Crescent Moons and Pointed Minarets, Like the Moon Loves the Sky, and Under My Hijab. I will say, if you have like little siblings, I really liked the book Like the Moon Loves the Sky. It's a really nice, uh, I don't know, talk about family and how to be positive with your family and hope good things for them. Home by Hina Khan. A blast of heat hits my face as I walk out of our hotel into the fierce sunlight. Luckily, there's an air conditioned taxi parked in front of the building, and I hop inside with my parents. Baba asked the driver in broken Arabic to take us to the hospital. He says hospital, but he means the orphanage on the fifth floor of the hospital building in Meknes. We're visiting the city in Morocco during the hottest month of the summer. When my mom went with a friend to visit the orphanage last year, I imagined it was like the one in the movie Annie. Back home in Virginia, Mama told me it wasn't anything like that. There was no mean Miss Hannigan, no singing and dancing, and a lot more boys than girls. One of them is my new little brother, Hakeem, whom I'm about to meet for the first time. We arrive at the square gray building, and there's no elevator to get to the fifth floor. For the next 10 minutes, all we hear is the slap of our shoes against endless stone steps and our own heavy breathing in the sweltering stairwell. Two more, Mama pants, as we get to floor 3. Her face is red. At least we got a workout today, right, Alina? Baba says to me. I'm too hot to smile at him. I'm carrying the raccoon backpack I brought for Hakeem and wearing my matching penguin one, too. Sweat is dripping down the back of my neck. Finally, we reach the top floor, and my heart is hammering in my chest. It's only partly because of the heat and stairs. Mostly, it's because I'm finally going to see Hakeem in real life. This is the moment I've been waiting for since last year. Ever since my parents asked my older brother Bilal and me if we would welcome a 3-year-old into our family. I finally screamed yes and jumped up and down. It was an easy decision. I felt like I already knew Hakeem. We'd been getting videos and photos of his curly haired kid with shiny brown eyes after my mom's first visit. Our family started sponsoring Hakeem to go to preschool. Mama wanted to do something to help the orphans she saw, and that was supposed to be it. But the more time that went by, with every update we got, we all thought about Hakeem more and more, and each of us felt that he belonged in our family. Now I'm bringing him home with my parents without my older brother. Bilal has summer training with his soccer team and can't miss the first 4 days of his sophomore year of high school. I'm supposed to be starting middle school next week and will have to wait until I'm back to find out where my locker is and get my schedule. But I wouldn't trade being here for anything. A lady with a smiling face and blue hijab greets us with lots of nodding and ushers us into a room that has built in bench sofas with a busy pattern on the fabric. Another family is already inside with a toddler who's playing with a small red soccer ball. This is it, Mama says as she squeezes my hand. Are you ready? Naam. I practice my Arabic for yes. I've been writing down words and phrases like Khan Greek, which means I love you, into a tiny notebook since Hakeem doesn't speak English and we don't speak Arabic. I don't realize I'm nervously tapping my leg against the bench until the other kid suddenly stops playing to stare at me. Remember, Mama says to me, we can't take Hakeem with us today. We have to wait for his paperwork and passport, and that could take 2 weeks. I know, I reply, although it's going to be so hard to leave for the hotel without him. The door opens, and in walks the blue hijab lady with a little boy clutching her hand. It's Hakeem. He's smaller than in his pictures, but is just as adorable. We've been sending photos and videos of ourselves, so he should be able to recognize us. Hakeem doesn't move at first as he scans the room. Then he suddenly lights up as he looks at me. I smile and open my arms for a hug. He runs toward me, and runs right past me and over to the red ball. The other kid grabs it before Hakeem can pick it up. Hakeem, here, I quickly say, holding out the backpack I brought him. I unzip it and show him the stuffed dog toy that I sprayed with Mama's perfume inside. Hakeem glances at me for a split second before turning back to the boy and the ball. The ball bounces on the floor, and Hakeem watches it until it stops. He picks it up and throws it and watches it bounce again. It's like we aren't even in the room. Mama, what is he doing? I whisper, although I know he can't understand what I'm saying. Why isn't he coming to us? It's okay, love. I don't think he's seen a ball before. Mama settles into the bench and smiles. She doesn't seem to mind that she just traveled across the world from America to finally be with her son and that he hasn't noticed her. But she doesn't take her eyes off Hakeem for a second. Aren't you happy to see Hakeem again? Baba searches my face on our way to the orphanage the next day. Yeah, but I don't think he likes me, I say, thinking about how he was more excited about a ball than meeting me. I'm sure it's not that, Baba says. It's all overwhelming for him. He's just overstimulated. Overstimulated. That's the understatement of the year. It turns out my new brother can't sit still every time we visit him. The cars, crayon set, and coloring book I bring him, they entertain him for about 2 minutes. The Elmo puzzle? He doesn't understand what to do with it and throws the pieces all over the place while I try to show him. But every day, Hakeem wears the backpack I brought him when he comes into the room for our visits. He looks at us with a face filled with a mixture of joy and shyness. As each day goes by, he sits in my parents' lap longer and longer, hugs me harder, and repeats Kanba Greek when it's time for him to return to his room. I say I love you to him, too, so he can start to learn English. We get to see his room one day when we go on a tour of the rest of the orphanage. The blue hijab lady, who I now know is named Sister Khalida, first takes us to the space for babies, filled with rows and rows of metal cribs. A couple of babies are crying, and the rest are sleeping or just lying there. Sister Khalida stops in the middle of the room and points to a crib over and over again. That must be where Hakeem slept until he was 2 years old, Mama says, wiping her eyes. I imagine a tinier version of him lying there, with no mother or father to love him, and my eyes fill up too. Next, we go into the room for kids who are older than two, like Hakeem. The kids aren't there, and I'm a little relieved. It's hard enough to see the rows of cots, arranged like cribs, only larger. It makes my insides twist into knots. They have food and clothing and a place to sleep here, Mama says aloud to no one in particular as she blows her nose. But no playgrounds, no bath toys, no cuddle times for these kids. It's heartbreaking. Can't we take all of them? I suddenly blurt out. I haven't said a word since we started the tour. Maybe Mariah Auntie can adopt one, and Mrs. Jenkins always says how much she loves kids. It's not that simple, Mama sighs. We're blessed to take Hakeem home, and so quickly. It's almost been a year since we first talked about it, so it doesn't feel quick at all. I can't wait to get him out of this place.